What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Keep It Down podcast. I'm your host, Garrett, as always, joined by my two co hosts, Logan. Say what's up.
Hey guys, how's it going? Good to be back after a long break, Hunter. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Toonie, say what's up to the people, bud.
Can you say
Hey,
hi
bud.
to the podcast?
What's up, Chubby?
You gonna watch the show? Yeah, go ahead.
What a guy. What a guy.
All right, for all our listeners, not on visuals, that was Logan's middle son, Turner. So, made a little cameo, but
That's why it's called Keep It Down, am I right, boys?
exactly,
Yeah.
you never know what's coming. But Shrek, again, how you living, baby?
Good. It's good. It's good to be back here with you guys. We've taken a little bit of an extended break, and feel like we got some good stuff to talk about today. So I'm excited to get into it with you guys.
And TC, how you living after this break, baby?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm excited. I was just thinking, man, how time flies. Like, we're already a quarter of the way to 100. That's crazy. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
ready to get into it.
Yeah, so as always, you can find us on Instagram at Keep It Down Pod, and in our Instagram bio, you can find our link tree, and that'll take you directly to YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff. So all of our socials are in there. We post audio and visual on YouTube. Our channel is Keep It Down ! So if you want to go round it up, give us some love out there. It'd be much appreciated. Boys. It's been a while. We're down bad. There's no football. So what does that mean? It's time to analyze the Oregon spring game, okay?
Got
So I
you.
want it all. I want the good, the bad, the ugly, the everything in between, okay?
Definitely. I kind of kick it off, man. I don't know how much stock I really put in the spring game. You know what I mean? Like, it's great to see the guys out there, and it's definitely something to watch, especially when it's your team. But I just don't put a ton of stock into it. People can look great in the spring game, and not really make that big a difference during the season or the other way around. But I gotta say, man, I kind of feel like a bad Oregon fan. I wasn't able to watch the spring game live. I already used my Fubo TV free trial, man. And it was on Pac-12 Network, which is just the absolute worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I ended up catching it. Some guy was the lifeline on YouTube and was streaming the whole thing, so that was sweet. But yeah, spring games are tough, man. Just because it gives you like kind of a glimpse and kind of reassures you of a few things. I mean, Bo Nix obviously looked pretty good. Started out a little slow, but I mean it's the first real like competition of the season. So I mean you're going to have a few hiccups and a little bit of a slow start. But I mean overall, I think it went pretty well. I think it was good to see some of those transfers come in and start doing their thing and kind of how they work with the team and kind of how Dan Lanning's, kind of brought them in and where they kind of stand in the program. So I thought it was interesting for sure. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot bad to say about it.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. I felt like pretty much everyone all the time, was running around the field. They were, doing their assignments correctly, and it seemed like kind of at times last year, especially in the secondary or some of the smaller linebacker dudes were kind of scared to get in there and get in the mix. And I felt like a lot of the people in the secondary in the spring game this year were not scared to get in the box and get active and make plays and just
Yeah.
do what they need to do out there. Yeah, Ty Thompson had a pretty rough first half. I think he went like 3 for 11 or something, so not super good. But he did a lot of good things in the second half. So I
He
don't. I
did.
mean, I don't know if it was just a little because even Bo came out a little rusty. So I don't know how much stock you put into that, but yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
the first thing that kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah, I think the first thing, or my biggest takeaway, was that the receiving core really looked good. Obviously, Troy Franklin, we already know what he is. He's our number one guy. He's the guy there at Oregon. Great that he's coming back. Just an awesome player overall. Tez Johnson had like a 65-yard tub. That dude is freaky fast, so that's going to be an exciting aspect of the offense. And then Chris Hudson, man, it looked like he was just consistent all day. He had like a 70-yard bomb that he got tackled at the 2-yard line on. So I was just really impressed with the receiving core overall and excited. I believe we did get Holden from Alabama as well. So we're looking really nice in the receiver room.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on the receivers, man. There just seems like there's It just seems like there's so many weapons like this year. Like last year, I mean, we had a pretty good core, but I mean, after the first maybe like two or three guys, there was kind of a pretty steep drop off. But there's just so much depth at receiver this year, and I think that's really kind of what they were looking for is just having people for Bo Nix to spread the ball around to. You might be able to lock Troy Franklin up on the outside, but then you have three or four other receivers who will eat you alive also. So it makes me really excited. I feel like the receiving core was something they really needed to like beef up a little bit, and I feel like they did that.
Yeah, I feel like I was just gonna say, the depth at the receiving position is looking really good. It's almost like you have two full units of dudes that seems like you could trust and get the ball to, and not really have a decline in skill or anything like that. You know, yeah, like you said, Troy Franklin, obviously he's a known commodity. You know what you're gonna get from
Mm-hmm.
him. Chris Hudson, again, one of those dudes who doesn't have the breakaway speed of a Tez Johnson or something like that, but he's going to be dependent. He's going to catch the ball. He's aggressive. He plays hard. All that good stuff. So
Right.
yeah, and even Kyler Casper, true sophomore, had a couple good grabs. He almost caught that one out of bounds. Took a shot from the safety, but I think
Mm-hmm.
he snagged that other one on the opposite sideline. So yeah, a lot of good things coming from the receivers there, and a lot of good stuff came from the corners too. First play of the game, Bo had Troy Franklin on like a 60-yard streak and he was running,
Hmm.
but Bo overthrew him. But after that, man, it was just not a lot of them taking the top off the defense, which is something that I think as Oregon fans you like to see in the long run. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the keys for the season. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but we lost Gonzo, Flo, and Sewell, right? I mean that those are three pretty big pieces
Yeah.
of your defense. We
Bennett
do
as
have
well.
a corner from Alabama, is that right, Chuck? Yeah, so we get the corner from Alabama. That's obviously enticing. Anything from Alabama is something definitely want to try to get your hands on. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be one of the keys to the season, man. It looks like offensively we're going to be really tough. Bo Nix, we know what he is. The receiving core we just mentioned, and then the running back by committee. I really am liking it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the defense, man, can we slow teams down enough to let that offense be successful?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of good pieces on defense. I think it's just going to come down to how all those pieces kind of fit together. We had a transfer in a linebacker transfer from Iowa. Obviously, our defensive line is still very, very good. It's just kind of those back seven that you kind of scratch your head and kind of wonder about. Um, but we definitely have some experience. It's not a whole lot of young guys. It's a lot of juniors and seniors back there, which is good. So yeah, I'll be interested to see kind of once we start getting into the beef of the schedule, kind of how that holds up.
yeah, we actually have a ton of transfers in the defensive secondary. You got the
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Jackson from Alabama. Tysheem Johnson came from Ole Miss. He was a honorable mention for all SEC, so that's a huge addition.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Williams, the little brother of Bennett Williams, is a senior graduate transfer from Fresno State. He's played a lot of true meaningful snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, on the defensive line, I thought Mateo looked really impressive. He's
Mm-hmm.
quick, man. Like
Yeah.
he's not the guy who's gonna TJ Watt beat the defender and get the sack in less than 3 seconds. But he's that dude who, like, if you're not getting the ball out on time, he's gonna get to you. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's more of what we need, because it seems like Lanning wants to kind of manufacture more pressure than get it with the front four. So
Right.
especially later in the year, we kind of got more man looks and kind of seemed like that was he was a little more into. So if you got a guy like Mateo on one side, and then you got Dorless returning, Jordan Birch is an SEC transfer. So
Mm-hmm.
I think the defensive line could take a huge step this year. So
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. You guys had mentioned that Bo kind of started out slow. What did you guys think of him overall? What was your impression? How did he look?
I think he looks good. It was good to see him kind of mobile and running around. I mean, obviously he had that ankle injury last year that really kind of concerned a lot of people. But I mean, luckily it looks like whatever I don't know if it was a broken bone or if it was just like a bad sprain or whatever. But he looked very mobile. He looked like the Bo from the beginning and middle of the season last year. He looked good. He was throwing on the run really, really well. He was seemed like he had kind of the game managed, the best that you kind of can in a spring game against guys that you play against every day. I mean, he looked like he was back for his senior season. So
kind of more of the same from him, like kind of what to be expected, but also just so much of his game is the improvisation and the Johnny Manziel esque plays, not to that same
mhm.
degree, but like getting out of trouble, getting out of tough spots,
Yeah.
or making getting that 3, 4, 5 yards, third and mediums with his legs is I think also a huge part of his game, which obviously you're not going to see too much of that in the spring game, but yeah, he's just so dynamic. And, from all the interviews I've seen of him in the offseason, he's just talking about getting better at running the ball, which is scary because he's already a very effective runner. So,
Mhm.
he can hone in on that and keep throwing the ball the way he does. I mean, look out, buddy.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, um, played consistent all day for the most part, other than the slow start. But after they shut the rest off, looked good for the rest of the day. I was really impressed at the end. He had that little read option that he ran in to give, like, what is it, the green team the lead with like a
Uh,
minute left. So that was really nice to see that ankle looking healthy. Um, yeah, just like I kind of wanted to get your guys' like overall expectations for the year. Like, what would you guys consider a success? Winning the Pac-12 is a certain type of bowl game you'd like to see, or you think it's Final Four, or it's a losing, or it's a failure of a season.
I mean, I think the goal this year, I mean, especially with just how the rest of the country looks right now, as far as, I mean, really the SEC and how all that looks right now. I mean, I think a trip to the college football playoff would be great, but I mean, I think Oregon right now, I mean, is just, you know, ears pinned back for a Pac-12 championship. That's what I would like to see them do. I mean, we kind of broke down their schedule already and kind of what to expect, and kind of based off what we see, I don't see why there's any reason why, if they play well and they play up to their capabilities, why they shouldn't be in the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah, I feel like kind of the expectation is the Pac-12 championship and then a New Year's Six bowl of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like Schmag was saying, a playoff would be great, but I feel like anything less than a Pac-12 championship and a New Year's Six bowl is kind of a disappointment at that point. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think with just Bo, obviously he's going to be on the Heisman watch list. There's a bunch of returning players. There's a lot of seniors on the Oregon team. I mean, like the time is now. I mean, I know they have some quarterbacks behind Bo and all that stuff, and they always have people that can step in. But I feel like their time for that Pac-12 championships like this year. So
yeah, definitely. It seemed like with Bo coming back, that was always going to be the expectation, right? Like, they were like,
right,
okay, if he's probably going to go to the draft, and then when he came back, it was like immediate excitement. Like, okay, like we really got a team. We already talked about all the supporting cast. I think
mm-hmm.
if Bo is in that like Heisman candidate kind of mix, we
Mm-hmm.
win the Pac-12. Um, if he doesn't, it gets a little rocky. But um, yeah, I think a New Year's Six bowl. Josh kind of stole the words right out of my mouth. Is
Yeah,
that would be considered success for us. Like maybe 1, 2 losses. Anything over that is obviously best case scenario.
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Was there anything in the spring game or anybody that kind of like that you expected to do a little bit better, or I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's kind of a good complaint to have, I guess. But I mean, when you're backup quarterback in Ty Thompson, and I've kind of there's just something about him. I mean, I'm sure he's a good kid. I'm sure he goes and gives it his all, and he's there in whatever capacity he needs to be there in. But I just feel like when I watch him play, I just feel like he's trying so hard not to mess up all the time that it just ends up going so bad. And I don't know. I mean, I think he's a sophomore, so I mean, some of that comes with age, obviously. Um, but there was a couple times last year when Bo had to come out, and then we're kind of left with Ty Thompson, and it just kind of makes me nervous. But um, I want to get your boys' take and see if there's anyone else that kind of jumped out at you in kind of that capacity.
I wanted to stay on the Ty Thompson thing for just a second. I mean, we had talked about how like quarterbacks are their own beast, right? And confidence is everything for a
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. So that could be
Hmm.
some of it too. Like Ty Thompson knows that it's Bo's show, and it has been for the last year and this year. So
Yeah,
when he comes in, he's like just trying not to ruin what's going on already. You know what I mean? I think it could be a different scenario if it's Ty Thompson's team and he's the guy. You know what I mean?
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Who's shaky? I mean, it's hard, man. You just remember all the the flashy dudes who just really popped off the screen.
I was gonna say I only watched the highlights, so I didn't really see too much of anything bad.
Yeah. The true freshman Kenyon Sadiq, who's the third string tight end, because got Patrick Herbert, and then Kenyon Sadiq, who's a true freshman.
Mhm.
He dropped a couple balls, but true freshman, like I said. But you know, I mean, it's a real thing. Tight ends could get hurt. Tefert could go down. Patrick Herbert could go down. So that's
Mhm.
a position where we might need to kind of sure that up before fall camp rolls around. It's time to get going. So um, it's the offensive and defensive line's kind of tough because they're split up from who they
Mhm.
normally play with. So it's a little tough to
Right.
judge that kind of stuff. I mean, you just
I
can't give
thought.
Tez Johnson enough flowers,
Yeah.
man. Like just that play, he's quick. It seems obviously he has chemistry with Bo. He's his freaking half brother or adopted brother, whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah.
yeah, not a whole lot to be too negative on, I don't think.
Yeah. Same. Um. Yeah. One guy that really did like jump out and surprise me though was was Mace Funa.
Hmm.
He plays that kind of defensive end, kind of linebacker, kind of hybrid thing going on. He had that pick six against Washington State, super deep in the year or super deep in the game last year. But he started out like the first drive, and he had like almost two interceptions and like was making some
Hmm.
good plays. I think this year for him is really going to be like kind of a breakout deal for him. I think obviously Dorless gets a lot of attention. Joey Bossa gets a ton of attention, but I think really this year is going to be kind of Mace Funa's kind of, I mean, he's a senior and he's been there for forever, with all the COVID seasons and stuff. But I think he's going to have a lot to do with, keeping that defensive line going strong.
Yeah, Chach, do you have a breakout candidate for this year?
I'm gonna say Tez Johnson personally.
I like Tez Johnson. I also like Troy Franklin, man. I don't know if you can necessarily call it a breakout year, but I definitely expect him to
Yeah.
take another step forward. Just long, athletic, makes the plays on the sidelines. I think that he could take another step forward as well. I'm liking that receiving core quite a bit. We're gonna have a breakout star somewhere, I believe.
Yeah, while we're on the topic, quick trivia question.
Yeah.
So Troy Franklin had 947 receiving yards last year. Who is the last Oregon receiver to have over 1,000?
In the season?
Yeah,
I don't feel like D'Anthony Thomas had that many receiving yards.
He had a lot of rushing yards.
A lot of
it's,
rushing yards.
it's a lot of catches.
Yeah. It's not low.
It's not Johnny Johnson.
No,
Jawan?
no.
Oh.
It's not Carrington. Carrington never
No.
played like a full season.
Well, you
Who's the
stumped
More
me,
last
recent.
Chach.
one?
More recent.
More recent? Jay
Not as
Herb
recent.
years?
Yeah, Jay Herb.
Oh, so it would be. Oh,
I think Schmeich has it.
Yeah, for some reason my
dude.
mind jumped straight to the Mariota years.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna be pissed too.
Yeah, Chad, I'm gonna be pissed with second name.
It's Dylan Mitchell.
Oh,
God, Mitchell.
2018 Jay Herb. Yeah, remember he literally threw the ball to him every single time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, that
gosh.
was just a quick little fun fact. But yeah, back to TC's question. I think Mateo could have a huge year. I think Jordan Birch could have a huge year. Because just the metrics these last couple of years just haven't been there for sacks. Since
Yeah.
Kayvon left, like
Hmm.
the leading sack getter last year had like I think 5.5 or 6. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think anyone on the defensive line could be primed for a breakout year as well.
Yeah, I think the thing that I was most disappointed about was, like I said, man, the game being on the Pac-12 network. I don't even get it on my YouTube TV subscription. But you got Colorado playing on like ESPN2. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so disrespectful out here.
I know. I want kind of off topic, but I want the freaking Pac-12 media rights deal to go through so we can figure out where the hell we're gonna watch the games this season.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to get that
So
figured out.
what's the deal with that, Josh?
So I don't know the specifics of it, but basically, like, no one has accepted from either party. I know they're in talks like Apple TV, a couple weird ones like that, and basically they just can't agree on anything. And I don't know if it's because the Pac-12 is trying to like bring in, San Diego State and SMU and all those schools before it happens, so they
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
have all that done already, and not have to like rework a deal after like 8 months of football or something like that. So that's the only thing that I could think is causing it to take so long, but hopefully it gets it's dealt with sooner rather than later. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I want to throw out a side note to the side note here. Um, I, the other night I saw a bunch of posts. I actually didn't watch the game, but um, it was like the game one of the Eastern Conference Finals, and YouTube TV basically crashed in the fourth quarter with like 5 minutes left. Luckily, like I said, I wasn't watching the game. I would have been infuriated, but I am a little bit worried, man. They're scheduled to have Sunday Ticket in the fall, and basketball does not have as many viewers as football does. So
Right.
um, that's gonna get interesting. I'm still gonna buy the Sunday Ticket though. Let's go.
Sure.
let's go. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that little graphic whenever it happened, and it was like the top 50 most watched things in the United States, and like probably 37 of them were football games
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah, yeah. I think there was like maybe a handful of like
Yeah, like
basketball games, soccer
Olympics, World
games.
Cup. Yeah,
Yeah, and some
Yeah.
FIFA.
I mean that's part of it, man. Is not just putting out the product, but putting out a good product that people like,
Right.
because it could go sideways real quick. So,
Yeah.
speaking of going sideways real quick, what in the hell is John Morant doing, boys?
Trying to make it back to the hood, dude.
All right, so
I kind of have two schools of thought on the whole John Morant thing. Okay.
Hit us.
So the first one is the obvious one, right? Like, dude, you literally already got suspended for flashing the gun in the nightclub in Denver. We know that infamous night that he had. They got him suspended
Mm-hmm.
for 8 games. And now he's caught again flashing a gun in a video, right? So it's like, dude, what the hell are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
But also, on the other side of the coin, guns aren't illegal, right? Now, I don't know the particulars of if John Morant owns that gun, if everything, all the paperwork is in line, right? Like, is he allowed to have that gun in the car, right? But it's not uncommon for people to have guns in cars. You
Right.
know what I mean? So I don't know. I want you boys to tell me how to feel because I'm feeling kind of torn on this one.
yeah, it's kind of bakes into my theory, my what I'm seeing on Twitter. Like the first one happens, and everyone goes on Twitter defending John Morant, saying that you know. Uh, this is a quote on a quote, but there's like, oh, you white people in LA don't understand what it's like to live in Memphis, which I can understand. Like for one time, like if homie feels like he really needs to carry a gun, then it is what it is. But also like don't post stories about it, any of that kind of stuff. And then, but like when you do it the second time, it completely invalidates that whole first train of thought. Like you're accidentally caught being seen with it out in public or what have you. And then, like the second time, you're just on like an Instagram live with some random in his car, streaming to 120 people, and you decide then is the time to pull out a gun. And like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's like, yeah, like TUC was saying, like, is it uncommon to have a gun in a car? No. But is it a little weird to just show it on Instagram Live for some reason? I think so, but I digress.
Yeah, so I mean, I think context really plays a big part of it. I mean, obviously, the first time he got in trouble for having a firearm, was because of a Twitter video out, on a night on the town kind of thing, and so obviously he gets in trouble for that, puts out the press release, all that stuff, and then it happens again, and it's like in a similar kind of context. It's like it's not
Yeah.
in like I'm just carrying a weapon on me. It's I'm in a car, we're bumping music, which I'm sure the music, I mean, is all about guns and whatever else going on. And then this dude's just flashing a gun around. Like, you can't do that. It's not like somebody took a picture of him and he has like a gun in a holster and you can like see the outline print of it, like, hey, listen, like I carry a gun for my protection. He's just waving a gun around in a car. You know what I mean? Like it's not a good look. And yeah, I mean, have a firearm, own a firearm, like do it the right way. But that ain't the right way, man. And especially when you've already gotten in trouble for beating up a security guard and flashing a gun at a 17-year-old at a pickup basketball game and then in a club, and now you're in a car doing the same thing. It's like, bro, you gotta chill for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the rub is like the optics of it, right? Because obviously the
Mm-hmm.
incident in Denver just not acceptable the whole night, right? Like
Right.
in a club with a gun and then all the pictures of you in the back room doing your thing, like that's not the image that the NBA is wanting to put off, right?
Mm-mm.
And then so if the second one was an isolated incident, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know what I mean? If it's just if pretend that the Denver incident never happened, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's really like it might be a story, like what the heck are you doing? But I don't think there's any repercussions from the league about it.
Yeah.
Um, and then also it's like the way he's like waving around and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the NBA
Yeah.
doesn't again, the NBA doesn't want that image. If it's just a picture of John Morant like having a gun on him or something and he's riding in a car, it's completely different. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
carelessness with it and yeah, again, like this and this goes back to the whole LeBron thing. Like you would never in a million years imagine LeBron doing something like this. You
Sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like never. You would never imagine it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like once you know, once you get drafted and you get that big old bag of money from whatever team chooses you, once you
Yeah.
put that logo on, it means a whole lot more than just playing basketball for one team. The
Yeah.
collective bargaining agreement and the commissioner and yeah, the scope of the situation, the
Yeah.
fact that you're supposed to be an idol to young kids, someone for them to look
Yeah.
up to,
Right.
like it all plays a factor, whether he likes it or not. And I think, he kind of skated through somewhat unscathed on the first one. What, he got like 11 game suspension or something,
I think he
Yeah.
did,
and
yeah.
And some
and
bad press.
yeah, exactly. And so I think they're just really going to drop the hammer on him on this one. I mean,
Oh yeah.
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, you know how that goes.
Not good, man.
And then I mean like he always says the right things afterwards, you know what I mean? But after the first incident, you hand out the apology and all that stuff. And then here we are months later. Like
Uh,
I feel like that is where the commissioner's really going to nail him down for,
yeah.
is like you didn't learn your lesson, guy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I felt like they kind of let him off easy after the Denver incident, just saying he
Absolutely.
was, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's where they're really going to be like, dude, all right, enough is enough. Like we're
Yeah.
going to make sure that this never happens again.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
like where we're at in the season, like how easy would it be for them to just say, yeah, you're not playing next year? Like, plain
Yeah.
and simple, cut and dry. It's off season. There's not in the middle of games. They don't have anything. There's four teams playing. Like, there's not much going on per se in the
Hmm.
eyes of the league. So he, yeah, I think he'll be lucky to, he's at the mercy of the league now. So I mean, it's all it is,
Yeah.
man.
I'd be really interested to see what kind of punishment they hand down. I mean, I think for sure they're gonna make their stance be known, and I mean, I hope they do. I mean, it's just can't have stuff like that happen, and it's not good for the game. It's not good for the people. It's not good for him. It's not good for the people around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, boys. Let's make a pit stop in the world of the NBA. Okay,
Mm.
I got a couple of things that I want to talk about, and before we get to what's going on in the conference final games, I wanted to talk a little bit about the NBA draft. Okay.
Mm.
Obviously, we all saw the Spurs are getting the number one overall pick. They're looking at the 7-footer out of France. Everyone is saying that he's probably one of the best prospects to come in team sports in a long time.
Hmm.
Um, you know, only time's gonna tell whether this guy's gonna pan out or not. But I did want to ask you guys about how do you feel about the lottery system in general? You know what I mean? You basically put a bunch of ping pong balls in there, and the worst team gets the most, and then I don't know how far back it goes, but basically the
I think
worse you
it's.
do, the more balls you have in the lottery.
I want to say it's the last eight go in the lottery.
Yeah, so do you guys like that idea? I mean, I feel like it might kind of deter people from tanking so bad because you're not guaranteed that number one overall pick just because you're the worst team in the league. You still got to face the lottery.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's better than when the Texans are playing whoever they're playing for the last pick in the or the first pick in the draft every year, because it always seems to be the Texans. It's the Texans and somebody else every single season. Um, but yeah, and then it's kind of like this weird, like you don't mind losing the game because you know you're going to get the first pick. You're either going to go one or two, kind of thing. Barring any trades that might happen or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I like the lottery system. I think it's a good one. Everyone always complains that it's always rigged, and they already have the pick picked out, and they just want so and so to go to whatever team. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good system.
Yeah, I appreciate the not tanking thing because I think that
Hmm.
just sucks. Like, there's no reason you should be a professional team of anything and you should be tanking on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, especially in the NBA. There's just so much an abundance of talent. It seems like the game translates from college to the NFL, or even high school to the or NBA. Sorry, high school to the NBA far easier than it does in any of the other
Other
sports.
sports.
So
Yeah.
really, if you're anywhere within that top eight, you're going to get a highly rated prospect. Like so. Um, where you are landing in that situation might matter a little bit, but definitely less than it would if it was just on wins and losses. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely keeps it interesting. Like I said, I like for the fact that it deters tanking, but it is just a little bit strange. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, like that's how we're gonna decide is just ping pong balls bouncing around, and whatever one you grab, or the last one that you grab gets the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of weird. And of course, I dude, the whole rigged thing nowadays, and NBA script leaks and all this is, dude, I'm so over it at this point, to be honest with you, because
it was funny last year. Now we just hate it.
I know. And then the Spurs get the number one overall pick, and then there's pictures of that Wimby kid, and he is in a Tony Parker jersey. Um, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, obviously rigged. He wanted to go to San Antonio." And it's like, is it really that weird for a French kid to be wearing the jersey of the greatest French player to ever live? Like, is that really strange to you?
It
Like,
won the
come
final.
on.
Did like what 4-3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole script thing is getting so annoying.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely run that into the ground this NFL season. I can already feel it. It's a played out joke already. It's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then like people just be like, "Oh, NBA script leak," and it's really just them giving their prediction. You know what I mean? And they like type it up with the NBA header, and they like crumple it up a little bit. And it's like, "Oh, script's leaked." I'm like, really? They're doing letters? Like, you gonna leave them in the locker room, and someone else is gonna find them? Like, they're doing letters. Come
Yeah,
on,
via carrier pigeon.
for real. But yeah,
I don't
man,
know.
It's really interesting. Those Sixers teams infamously tanked for a long time. I
Hmm.
believe one year they won like 11 games or 8 games or something crazy, and it was the whole trust the process thing. A lot of those picks didn't really pan out though. I think one of them was Markel Fultz. Another was God, who was that kid out of Duke? Um, I mean, man, I can't think of his name.
is it Grayson
Jaleel
Allen?
Okafor. Jaleel
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Okafor out of Duke. And so, yeah, man, like they obviously hit on Embiid, but it's just interesting. They don't always pan out to have those high draft picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, boys. With that being said, you guys been watching the conference finals at all? I think the Heat and Celtics game just wrapped up. Heat taking a 2-0 lead. And that's huge, man, because the Heat are on the road right now. They're going back to their crib for the next
oh
two.
shoot,
Yeah. Which I mean, Miami. I mean, tough place to play, man. Like, and that's like legacy. That was like even back in the day with the Celtics were playing the Heat in the finals. Like Miami is not an easy place to play. You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
yeah, you get all those kingpins courtside, man. I mean,
Mm-mm.
shit adds up.
Yeah,
Um,
people start missing shots. People start, slipping
exactly.
some refs some cash.
uh, yeah, I've been watching the Lakers and Nuggets series. It's actually been really entertaining. Both
It
games were
has.
absolute
Mhm.
bangers, man. The Nugget, dude. I just, I'll save it for a different part of this series. But anyways,
Sure.
The Lakers and Nuggets, man, they're just going at it, dude. Like the first game, the Lakers are down by what, like 21, 22 in the third, and they just
Yeah,
storm back in the fourth, and then the Nuggets just clutch up with free throws at the end, and then kind
Yeah.
of the opposite happens in game two. The Lakers are up by 10, 11 in the third, and then dude, once the Nuggets start hitting shots, it is like catching a cold, dude. They're just chucking shit, and it's going in every single time.
Yep.
yeah.
So it's crazy, but yeah, really good series out of both of them so far. So
Yeah, I think that's one thing about the playoffs is there's only a certain amount of teams going, right? And especially this time
Hmm.
of year, there's only four left. So you've kind of watched these teams at least throughout the playoffs. 'Cause that's really when I start to pay attention to basketball.
It's a long
I
season.
like I, I watch big games during the regular season, but I'm
Yeah.
not just like grinding a Nuggets versus Jazz game and figuring out like Nikola Jokic is really like that. I know that he's really like that, but I'm just saying I'm not really
Yeah.
like grinding just middle of the week type games during the regular season. But it makes it interesting once you get to playoffs because you watch these teams go through, and you can start to like um, see how they're interchanging their lineups and matching up. In game one, they
Hmm.
threw Rui Hachimura at Jokic. I really thought they found something. And then, like, how's AD going to play against Jokic? Like, what that's going to be like. It's just interesting. I think you get more into the strategic side of basketball rather than when I just watch a game during the regular season. I'm like, oh, Curry just hit a three. You know what I mean?
for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah, I think once they put either Rui or Braun on Jokic and let AD help from the middle, I think that really helped. Because the
Hmm.
first game he had like what 22 offensive rebounds total, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think once they started letting AD just help, being the 7 foot tall dude he is, and letting someone with a little more meat on their bones kind of get down there and bang it out with Jokic. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a banger. Game three, what Saturday evening. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, these two series feel completely different right now. It seems like Boston's having a meltdown. You got to go to Miami for the next two games. Like, if you don't
Yeah. That's
win at least
tough.
one of those, you're not making it back to your home court. But Lakers Nuggets, I mean, you're going to LA for the next two. So there's some
Hmm.
hope there. Obviously, the first two games didn't go the way the Lakers wanted them to, but there's still hope. You're going back to your home floor. It's not like you're getting blown out. You've made some adjustments. It seems like they're working on Jokic, but really, like once they get Jokic slowed down a little bit, then Jamal Murray just catches fire and he hits a late three and looks over at Mike Green and does his own bang. And it's tough to defend them when they're making shots like that.
Yeah.
yeah, and like their team is so intricate to guard because, like we were saying, you got to put either Braun or Hachimura on Jokic and AD to help in the middle, and then Michael Porter Jr.'s 6'7" at a small forward or a big guard, whatever you want to call it, and so
Mm.
it's someone's got to guard him. It seems like he's just a stand in the corner and take my shot over whoever because they can't close out quick enough to get to his tall frame and that 6'7" frame of his. So
Right.
yeah, and once the once the Nuggets start getting hot, dude, it's just impossible. They're just throwing up stuff like game one, Jokic was just throwing up threes and they were going in, and it was just ridiculous, dude.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because I would say the Lakers are probably the closest thing left in the playoffs to like the super team, right? Like where you just
Hmm.
have a bunch of free agents come together, especially earlier in the year when they had Westbrook. Props to the GM though, man, getting rid of he's not pulling all the strings, but that
Yeah.
Lakers front office for recognizing that the era of the super team is kind of dying off and it's
Yeah.
kind of lending its hand to more depth and consistent team and having guys coming off the bench that can contribute. It's not just, oh, this guy's a free agent and we're going to Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they added Hachimura at the deadline. They added D'Angelo Russell at the deadline, which both have had really strong performances. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of the blueprint moving forward is kind of try to survive the regular season and make it to the playoffs, and then kind of buckle down at the trade deadline, and then see where you go from there. Like if you can be the one seed, obviously you'd rather be the one seed, but it seems like just more and more teams are just trying to survive the regular season and then kind of bring it all together once the playoffs kick in. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and then man, what the Heat are doing over in the East is unheard of. I think this was the first year that a play-in team ever won a series. I believe the Lakers and the Heat both did it this year, but it was the first time it had ever been done. A team from that play-in tournament winning a first-round series. And then as well as the Heat are the 8th seed, man.
Mm-hmm.
The 8th seed hasn't made it to the conference finals since like 1993 or something like that. So I mean, they're up 2-0. They might have a finals trip ahead of them. Like this is an impressive run that Jimmy Butler's leading the Heat on right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, boys, do I have the game cooked up for you two?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm excited to be participating in the game.
Yeah, TC, you're usually the one calling the shots.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get into it, man.
All right. So, here's the game. So we're talking the NFL draft, right?
Yeah,
So
love
what
it.
we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and forth between the each years. I've got the last 10 first-round draft picks
Oh no!
for your NFL team pulled up on my phone here. We're going to go back
Oh,
and forth. Whoever gets to 10 first wins. You can only guess once per turn. Then it goes to the other person. And if there's a tie, I have a tiebreaker pick for both of you.
I'm ready.
Okay. Shmag, you can go first.
Yeah. I don't even remember his name. I was just mad because it wasn't Gonzo. It's a dude from Ole Miss. He's
It
a
doesn't have to be in
corner.
order. It doesn't have to be in order.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'll go with the one that jumps out the most is Cody Sheriff from Iowa State, maybe guard.
His first name's Brandon, but we'll give it to you.
Brandon Sheriff.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to go in order as much as I can remember. So wait, this year counts?
Yeah, this year counts.
So we're going. So this would be back to 2013.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so Broderick Jones.
Okay.
I got
Smart.
RG3.
Okay.
Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Was Dotson first round?
He was 22. TC?
Najee Harris.
Yep. Shmag, back to you.
Ooh, Payne. Was Payne a first round pick?
He was. TC?
Oh,
You're up.
Devin
Sorry.
Bush.
Correct. Shmag?
We had another Alabama pick in there. Another Alabama defensive line.
Are you talking about Jahan Dotson, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there another Dotson?
No.
First round, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Was Brian Robinson first round? Do we have 2 picks last year?
He was not.
All right, this is where I'm gonna start getting a little sketchy because I'm not 100% sure.
And
I don't know if
TC,
he's
just a heads
first.
up, you did have a no pick in there, and you did as well, Schmag.
Oh, okay.
So technically
So I
it'll be
don't
the
know.
12, but it's your last 10 picks.
I don't know if this guy was first or second round, but I got to throw him out there. T.J. Watt.
Yep, correct. Schmag, back to you, baby.
Was Ryan Kerrigan a first round pick?
He was, but it was in 2011.
Oh.
TC, baby.
I want to say Jarvis Jones.
Correct.
Damn it, dude.
Ty's getting some weird ones in there.
I am just running out of steam, dude.
Schmag, back to you.
Back to 2013. So what years do I have left? I have 2013.
Okay, Kerrigan was right, Schmag. You have 2 no picks. So you get the point for last round. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So wait, he's going all the way back to 2012 or something, or 2011?
11. Schmag's going to 11, and Ty is going to also to 12.
Okay, is it my pick again?
Yes. Still your pick.
Sua Cravens.
Was not.
Damn.
I'm trying to think of this boy's name.
You can also get a pick. You also get a point if you tell me what year the no pick was in.
What are you thinking, TC? Was our no pick 2015?
No, we took a corner, and I think his name's Artie Burns, but it could be the other one.
That's correct.
Was our no pick in 2015 for Washington?
No. That's when you took Sheriff, however you want to say it. TC, your pick?
I feel like this guy might be. I'm gonna go David DeCastro.
Correct. 2012.
Yes.
So that's your earliest. That's your oldest pick.
We had that running back from Baylor. I think he was a first rounder. I just don't remember his name off the top of my head.
Gary, how many do I have left?
Ty's at 8. Schmag is at 5.
I have 2 left.
Yes. And you can tell me what year the no pick was in. This will also get you a point.
Is it Schmag's guess though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Schmag's guess.
I'm going to go for the point. It was our no pick in 2017.
Touch.
Christian.
Okay, I'll skip out on trying to guess what year we had the no pick. Just tell me what years I have left.
Okay, you got 2018, 2015, 2014, and that's it. And then your the tiebreaker pick, but you obviously don't need to know that one.
2018. You know, I don't know. Who's the old boy out of Clemson, the receiver? Plays in the XFL now. I don't want to Google him because that's cheating. Bryant. Martavis.
Nope. Was not a first round selection. Schmag, back to you. Schmag, would you like to know your available years?
No. Was Kirk Cousins a first round pick?
He was not.
He really wasn't a first round pick?
Yeah, no, not in your frame.
What?
Would you guys like positions?
Yeah, I mean, one of mine is the defensive lineman from Bama. I just can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Okay, TC, you've got a safety,
I know who it
2
is.
linebackers, a safety and 2 linebackers.
Is it my guess?
Yes, your pick.
Is it Terrell Edmonds?
Correct. That is one of them. Schmag, would you like your positions?
Yeah.
Okay, you have a corner, a linebacker, 2 defensive ends, a tackle, a quarterback, and a receiver.
Dude, There's no way it's Will Compton, right? At linebacker? Okay. I was going to say, there's no way he went first round.
Ryan Shazier.
Yep, that is one of them. Ty is at 9.
And another linebacker?
Yep, you got a linebacker and
I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. You have 1 linebacker left.
Touch, you said I have a quarterback?
Yes.
Who went in the first round?
Do you want year, Schmag?
Yeah.
Okay. So 21 is a linebacker. 20 is a defensive end. 19 is a quarterback, and a defensive end. 17 is a tackle. 2016 is a receiver.
Who was the quarterback in 2019? Did they start?
Yes. I think. Yeah.
It's not Sam Howell. He was after that.
Older.
Yeah, I'm having issues with this one, dude.
You also have 2 no picks. Don't forget.
Yeah. No, I can't go for the no picks. I mean, obviously, I don't know all of them. I really just blocked out those seasons out of memory, huh? Just trying to think of who played quarterback for us, and that's really difficult. Okay.
You also have 3 starters on your
Oh,
defensive
Schmag,
line.
I think I know your quarterback.
Yeah, like the 3 defensive players are starters currently. I just can't remember their names. One of them's that DN from Bama. Don't remember his name.
All right, can I give a guess for mine?
Yeah,
I
go
would.
ahead, TC.
Yeah.
Chats, but is it a true linebacker or do you play edge?
Wait 1 second.
Wait. Oh, I think I got mine.
True linebacker.
Is it Vince Williams?
No, he played edge. He played edge. My
Bud
fault.
Dupree?
Yeah, Bud Dupree.
Is Scary Terry on my list still?
No, he's not a first round pick. All right, so going down Schmags, we got Emmanuel.
No. Let me guess.
Okay.
Wait,
The receiver was
ready?
2018.
Chach, before you give him the answers, I want to guess.
Okay, TC, go ahead.
Is the quarterback Dwayne Haskins?
Oh,
Yes.
it is. Dang it.
Okay, the quarterback's Dwayne Haskins, and who's that? Who else is left?
So you got 2 defensive ends, 1 tackle, 1 receiver. 1 defensive tackle, 1 receiver.
Has Montez Sweat been said?
Yeah. So Montez Sweat is with one of the defensive ends.
Okay.
So you got
Yeah.
another defensive end, a defensive tackle, and a wide receiver. And then the pick that they just picked, that Emmanuel Forbes dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I got.
I can't believe this.
Is the dude's
No,
last name is Smith? Is that the
No. It's
I think
Jonathan
I'm gonna be
Allen.
mad.
Jonathan
Yeah,
Allen?
I'm gonna be mad when you say that like edge player. I think I know who it is, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I don't know how. It's Chase Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other was just a random linebacker from Kentucky, Jamin Davis. Never even heard of that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schmag's no picks were in 2013, 2014. Ty's was in 2020. Would you guys like to do your tiebreakers just for funsies? They're both
Sure.
iconic players that play for your squads.
Doug
Go
Williams.
ahead.
All right, Schmag's pick was in the 2010 draft. Who was it?
2010 first round pick
Mm-hmm.
was.
Don't goof it.
I mean, I'm
Don't.
definitely gonna goof it because nothing's even like jumping out of my brain right now. Did I even watch a draft in 2010?
You probably watched this individual play some very meaningful snaps for you.
Yeah.
You could say he wasn't mediocre.
Yeah. Thanks for the hint. I feel like this is just meant to make me look bad. I don't know, Josh. Give it to me. I can't even
Is it
Trent
think.
Williams.
RG3?
It's
Trent
not
Williams.
RG3. Yeah. Trent Williams.
Who is it?
It was in
Williams.
2010?
Yeah. Okay, TC, your pick is from 2008.
It's stupid. Oh, yeah, who it is.
First rounder.
– 2008 first rounder? It's not Mike Wallace.
Same era. Just different player.
Yeah. Okay, it's not Palomalu. Is it Palomalu?
No.
It's not Palomalu. It's not Mike Wallace. It's
Mhm,
Santonio
mhm.
Holmes.
No.
No.
That would have been my guess. But don't
Okay.
listen to me. Definitely don't listen to me.
It's not Joey Porter Jr. because his dad would have been playing at that time. Okay. AB's not in there. Can you give me offense or defense?
Offense.
2008. Oh, is it Pouncey?
I was just about to say.
He was in 2010.
What?
Older than Bouncy. Is he a skill player?
His name's a mouthful too.
Oh, it's not Anton Randall.
His name's more of a mouthful than that.
Is it Villanueva?
No.
No. This is 2008, you're saying?
Dude, I can imagine it's so hard, but just seeing the answers, it just sucks because I know it's right on the tip of your tongue, like right when I say their fucking name.
Go ahead, give it to me. I quit.
It's Richard Mendenhall.
I was thinking Willie Parker.
Yeah, like
for
any
a running
of
back
Ty's
in those
picks,
years, but
any of Ty's picks from 2011 to 2008, just all Cameron Hayward, Marquise Pouncey, Evander Hood, and Richard Mendenhall,
yeah.
all in a row. So yeah, boys, TC officially won. Schmag had a little bit of a rough go, but you know, they also had so many early picks that like it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
tough one.
and then like when people don't pan out, like don't really remember them, but
Yeah, Schmag had a couple just completely randoms on there.
Yeah.
yeah, I remember Jarvis Jones and Devin Bush just because they are like some of our bigger busts, and we usually kill the draft, so they kind of stand out in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, boys, that's it's a little game show I had prepared for y'all too. Seemed decent overall.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back and learn all of Washington's picks for the past like 40 years just so we can so I don't lose again.
I thought you're gonna try to make us name this year's picks in order or something. So I was all like looking at this year's picks. Yeah, boys. Kind of switching gears here. There's been some people annoying me, man. I talked about the whole scripted thing, but what about the athletes themselves, man? I got a list going on my phone right now. People that are annoying me right now.
Okay.
Or in the past year, actually. We'll say in the past year. Okay. Starts off. Caleb Williams. You know,
That's a big one.
the Tulane loss, the way he acted throughout the season.
F
Caleb
Utah.
Williams, just, yeah, F Utah and then not facing the media with all that. Lamar Jackson. I think pretty self-explanatory. He plays for the Ravens. I dislike the Ravens, and I dislike Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Dylan Brooks. And then in quotations, Grizzlies overall. We know what's going on with John Morant, okay? And then, like, dude, before the season started, I remember the Grizzlies being, like, talking about a dynasty. And then you go and get bounced in the first round, like, star player suspended, and then everything that happened with Dylan Brooks. I literally heard a song on TikTok the other day all about, like, It was basically dissing Dylan Brooks. That's how many people he's pissed off this year.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, his comments after getting bounced out of the playoffs, like, oh, me and James Harden can't just win alone. I was like, dude, you guys were up 3-2. What are you talking about? You can't win alone. Like,
Yeah.
you guys blew it. Like, you had enough to win 3 games, and you just couldn't get it done in the fourth. Like, so stupid. Um, Moving on, Khabib, and then again, also most fighters from Dagestan in general.
Mm.
Um, Great fighters, and a lot of them are rising to the top right now. But just the fighting style, man, the whole like mauling thing. They get on top of you and tie your legs up, and it's just not an entertaining UFC fight that I'm trying to watch.
Yeah.
Real quick on the last couple: Chris Paul, Joey Bosa, Zach Wilson.
Wow.
Any thoughts on my list I got going?
I think it's
Anyone we should be adding to the list?
I think it's a great list. I definitely have a couple to add. I think Dylan Brooks is obviously a big one. The entire Grizzlies organization, obviously a big one. I'm going to throw one in, and this is only because I took this extremely personal.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is on my list.
In what way? What do you do?
I just can't get over the long snappers and kicker thing, dude. I can't. I have to take exception to it. I can't just leave that alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's never done it. He couldn't do it. First of all, could you imagine that guy freaking kicking field goals? Maybe. Ain't no way he's snapping the ball and getting downfield, though.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Jose Altuve.
Yes.
That guy will forever be on my list. I don't care what happens. I don't care what hand he had in the cheating. Forever on my annoying list.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, dude, like, I thought about putting the Astros on my list, kind of like I did the Grizzlies, but I don't know if Altuve is necessarily like the head of the snake for me, but definitely whenever I turn on an Astros game, I'm just like, even to this day, I'm like, freaking cheaters, man. You know, like I got a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, Altuve is just on my list, dude. The whole freaking I got a bad tattoo and that's why I didn't want him to, like, he's such a liar, dude. Like, he was wearing the little device just like everyone else was wearing, and he just didn't want to get caught. I feel like he got off pretty scot-free for being definitely like the superstar on the team that got caught, or didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Altuve is on my list, and he probably always will be.
Boys, let me tell you. Oh, sorry, Mark, if you're still going with your list.
Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs is also another one.
So oddly specific.
Yeah. It's like 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins, just unstoppable.
Yeah.
Nothing better than morning, afternoon slate Kirk Cousins, baby.
Yeah.
I've got on my list, one is Sidney Crosby.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate or?
Just, I mean, you just don't like the guy personally, you know?
Yeah.
He freaking, yeah. Anyways, Paul Pierce is second.
Oh.
His commentary is just the worst.
Guy acts like he was like 1 and 2 with Michael Jordan. I was like, dude, you're the sorriest piece. You're the sorriest third leg of the original Big Three.
Yeah, and he was saying he was better than Dwayne Wade not too long ago, and I was just like, bro, like, you're not that guy. You're not.
Yeah, D Wade almost willed the team to the finals literally by himself. Anyways, moving on. I also have Khabib on my list. I also have Floyd Mayweather on my list.
What Floyd do to get on your list?
Yeah,
nothing in particular. I just some of the stuff and just his little I don't know, man. It's just something about him. I don't know if it's just an attitude thing or something like that, but
he's definitely got an edge. Yeah,
he is 50-0 and that all that good stuff. But I mean, yeah, boxing is just weird. Like for example, the fight with Conor per se. He goes in there and just outboxes Conor. Clearly, because he's been boxing his whole life. Conor obviously does MMA. And then he acts like it's like some huge deal. Like he acts like he spark out and knock dude out on the canvas. When he, outbox him for the majority, Conor gets dead dog tired in like the 8th or 9th round, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Floyd gets a stoppage. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little jaded on that. I also just fighters in general who just grapple the entire time. Like, is wrestling a part of the MMA? Absolutely. Are there dudes who should use it to their advantage? Absolutely. But also, like, do I think you should be able to go in there and just lay on the other dude for the, 2 minutes and 45 seconds around and like win fights and like everyone thinks it's hot shit. Like Khabib fought Journeyman until like his 30th fight, and now he's like what 35-0, and everyone's like drooling over him. Like I don't know, it's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Also, Brad Marchand is pretty high on my list of people.
Yeah.
I
Oh
hate.
yeah, absolutely. That guy's
He
what a
doesn't
rat.
wear elbow pads. Is he like it's just this whole thing. You see his freaking forearms under his jersey, and I don't like it one bit.
I mean, since you brought it up, I'm gonna say the it's kind of broken into two categories for me, but I'm gonna quote this: YouTube boxing. Okay, I know not all of them do YouTube, but like it's kind of gotten that brand. I understand like Jake Paul and like KSI and those fights, but I just feel like there's kind of this open invitation now for anybody that sparred their homie like 2 times in a gym should be a boxer. And it's like, and you go through all the press stuff and you see all the stuff all over the internet about it. And like you watch these fights and it looks like second graders out there playing tetherball, like is
Yeah.
what it looks like. It's just, I get that like boxing was in a lull for a really long time. And now it's like on the up and up. So everyone's trying to get involved, but it's not a good look. I mean, I know some of it's for entertainment, but it's like when you had the two giant guys, the two big old dudes this like last weekend boxing each other, like that's funny. It's for entertainment. But then you have like other people who just are just taking it so seriously. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the light that boxing like necessarily needs. I feel like it's kind of like overextended its welcome a little bit to a certain extent. If that makes any sense.
I can agree. Some of it's very, very played out.
Yeah.
You see what it is, you know?
Yeah. I thought about putting Russell Westbrook on my list, but I left him off. I
Yeah.
think I've kind of come full circle with the guy. And I'm kind of almost in a way rooting for him again. Yeah, for years I couldn't stand the guy. I really couldn't. Like all those years after KD left,
Yeah.
you know, triple double Russ. Everyone knows triple double Russ, but like, dude, like your second best player was like Andre Robertson, and you guys just were not winning. Like,
Yeah.
so like the triple double like was not a huge accomplishment in my mind. Like it's a team game, you know what I mean? So I guess I always felt like he was overrated, and then he goes to Houston, and didn't love him there. Just the attitude, the
Yeah.
persona, all that stuff. Now he's bounced around a little bit, and I'm almost rooting for the guy to like be productive again. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Westbrook's definitely on my list too. I don't know. There's just something about it, dude. He's like a corner in the NFL. That's kind of what he does. He just kind of feels the need to rub it in everyone's face when maybe didn't do anything really. Maybe someone else just overthrew him or something happened.
Yeah,
Cam Newton's on my list.
really.
Yeah, I just the way that he typed on Instagram for that little stint, with all the little wingding and the emojis and all that stuff.
Typed on Instagram.
I couldn't get past it, and I still can't get past it, dude. Like we gotta stop. And also the 32 people better than me. It's like maybe
There's
32
probably
people with a better
35.
attitude. I don't know. Like, I mean, I get it. I get what he's saying, but I mean, the the Instagram font and then the comments recently just can't get behind him.
Also, some of the
Yeah,
stuff he like those little TC, those little videos he posts of like his little camps and stuff are
Also,
just
he
like
dresses
some of
like a
them.
freaking weirdo.
Yeah, also that. He just gives some weird motivation, man. Like it just sometimes it comes off so weird and like just backhanded compliment kind of things. Like it's not
Yeah,
constructive or like it's really just not doing anything. There's just words at that point.
yeah,
But yeah, he's had a weird arc, that guy.
yeah. Like that's what I was gonna say. Is Cam Newton is a legend, right? Like
yeah. Absolutely, yeah,
his Auburn days, his MVP Carolina days. Like this guy was different, man. Like this guy's 6'5", like 250, hurdling over people. But he just doesn't have a game that ages well. If he
yeah,
doesn't have the legs, like he's a serviceable passer, but he's not dicing you up from the pocket. Like without the legs and the running and the athleticism, the whole package doesn't work as well, right?
right, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I dislike the guy. Really, I'm just being nitpicky about stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Back again.
Toonies, welcome back.
You want to come say hi?
What's up, Chubby?
Turner, what's up?
That's my boy.
Yeet.
There he is. Just stop
Tooney's
it.
second time on the
Hey,
podcast, baby.
just checking in on me.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to think if there's anyone else really jumping out at me. As far as like currently, who annoys me? Dan Snyder, but he gone.
Yeah, he gone forever.
Cardale Jones,
Uh,
for what he did to us.
anyone who went to Ohio State.
Yeah, boys, I think
Anyone who
that
currently
wraps it up
goes
for
to the
my
University
list.
of Washington. Um,
A kid at the University of Washington?
You're talking about
What'd you say?
the dude that hurt Bo Nix. Is that who you're talking about?
no, I said any kid that goes to the University of Washington.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. SC fans. Boys, what else we got?
Did you guys watch the first game of the um, Carolina and
Florida. Yeah.
Florida series last night?
You know what? I was watching the basketball game last night,
Mm-hmm.
and so I figured that the hockey game was gonna be over, and then it's late at night, man, and I turn it on, and they're like in the fourth overtime. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why can't we figure this out, boys? Like, you guys have already played another game plus a quarter, or plus a another period.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me, man. Like I was watching the end of the third period, and I was like, "Oh, they're going to go into overtime." So I was going to eat some dinner. I was going to watch some Office, and like we were just hanging out. And then like literally an hour and 30 minutes after that, I checked my phone like to see what the score was, and these dudes are still playing. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you guys watched like the fourth overtime or not, but they're like firing shots on net. And like Bobrovsky and Anderson, dude, like both of them were playing so freaking well. And it was a really, really good game. It wasn't like super boring to watch. Like they were literally trying to score the entire time. It wasn't like a lot of wait for an opening. Like they were being aggressive and pushing the puck. It was a really, really fun game to watch. And that was only game one. So, and then the game tonight, I guess, went into overtime as well with Dallas and Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of you get that big break after the last series ends, and you get a couple days
Mm-hmm.
regroup, reset, get your body back in check, and then for one game to go into quadruple overtime and one game to go to overtime, it could really sway a series. Like if you come because you're back to playing a game every other day, so you have one day to get your legs back. You have one day to recover correctly. You have one day to
Yeah.
get enough sleep. I'm sure the dude's traveling because in Florida and Carolina, at least they're in the same time zone, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can really sway a series, man. If whoever comes back from this, or I guess I technically don't have to travel, but
Yeah.
whoever comes back more rested, more prepared, more recovered, and all that good stuff, it could really change the scope of the whole series. So it will be
Yeah, I thought it
interesting.
was interesting. I thought it was interesting. They were just willing to let these guys play all night. Like, at what point do you just throw a shootout in there and say, "All right, let's just
Just
figure
for
this out
funsies.
somehow"? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
kind of crazy that they let them go all the way into four OT. I know you don't want it to be cited by something that's not technically like real hockey, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like player safety kind of thing. You know?
Yeah. They were playing until 2 o'clock. The game ended at like 1:54 a.m. on the East Coast. The game was like 5 hours and 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a funny post on Instagram. It was like all the things you could do like in the time of that game, and it was like watch the first three Fast and the Furious movies, like watch the whole first season of like a show or something like that. It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and then I think Dallas and Golden Knights
Yeah.
Started tonight, right?
Yeah. That game went into overtime as well.
Yeah, it looks like Golden Knights are up 1-0 now.
Yeah.
That one's getting interesting. Um, but yeah, man, it's a good time of year right now. You know,
Yeah.
not a ton of sports on, but the games that are on are all meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Down
And
into
it's
the
gonna be
nitty gritty.
a sad, sad day once NHL and NBA wraps up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Panthers defenseman Brandon Montour was on the ice for 57 minutes and 56 seconds.
It's a lot.
Actually playing hockey for basically the time of a whole hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hockey's 3 20-minute periods, so he was actually on the ice playing for an entire hockey game
Just about,
in
yeah.
one night. So, yeah, both teams are skipping practice today, so we'll say they come out tomorrow, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got something completely random.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about conspiracy theories a couple podcasts ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I back like a year and a half ago, I was listening to Logan Paul's podcast, right? He has this dude named James Fox on. He's a ufologist or whatever what have you. And James Fox tells a story about this guy in Nevada who has this video of like these two dudes on a road trip from like LA to Area 51. It's called like the quintessential road trip or whatever. Back in like the 70s and 80s, it was like a thing. So they're like filming the whole thing, and supposedly like they had this encounter at the end, and where like a UFO's floating over their car or something like that. And so they filmed it on this little camera. And so long story short, like this James Fox guy is like tracking down the video, and he like meets this random dude named Chuck Clark who lives in Nevada. So he goes out there, meets him, watches the video, and the Clark guy is like, yeah, if you like ever ask to see it again or tell anyone, like, oh, we're never talking again. So, being a journalist, James Fox asks him about it again, and Chuck Clark stands his ground, never talks to the guy again.
Uh-huh.
So, long story short, wrap it up to current day. Listen to a Joe Rogan podcast with the same James Fox guy on, and James Fox on the podcast says that Logan Paul reached out to dude Chuck Clark, lives in Nevada, has a UFO video, and he goes out there and he's like, "Hey, I'll pay you $100,000 if you just give me the video, like straight up, just across
Mm-hmm.
deal." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay." And Logan's like, "Well, let me see it first." So Logan Paul watches the video and he's like, "Okay, I'll pay you 100 racks for it." And the guy's like, "Oh no, I can't sell it. So they leave, nothing happens. Turns out Logan Paul wore a button camera on his shirt in dude's house, filmed the whole video, and so now he like has this video and he's just like, I'm just waiting for the time to let her fly. Then also in the same podcast, this James Fox guy tells a story about some guy in Brazil who supposedly took a X-ray of an actual alien.
Hmm.
He's released like a documentary about it called Moment of Contact, and you go watch the clip of Joe Rogan, dude. He is like shocked. I guess he's already seen the documentary, and he is like genuinely shaken about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, we might be getting to see some aliens soon, boys.
Yeah, with the button camera, that's some risky business though, because
I
like
just say, isn't that super illegal?
that's like pirating some video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but I don't know the specifics of it, but I don't think it's Homeboy's video is the thing.
okay, yeah.
Mm,
So I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly, but yeah, I agree.
interesting.
But
Yeah, it's like lately, dude, I've just been hearing more and more UFO activity, and it all just seems like it's like getting not swept under the rug, but like no one's really talking about it that much. But the UFO activity is heating up right now, man.
it's
It's a
in, baby.
hot topic. Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, for Joe Rogan to be shaken about something, like, come on,
He doesn't get shaken about a whole lot of things.
exactly.
Mm.
Um, what is it,
Aliens are real,
$9?
confirmed.
Aliens built the pyramids.
You can rent it on Prime Video, Moment of Contact for $4.79.
Wow.
What,
So if
is it
anyone's
like
bored,
documentary style? You think?
it says it's a movie, but I think it's like a documentary kind of vibe. I
Interesting.
don't know. Watch the Joe Rogan clips, see what you think. Everyone out there listening, let us
Is
know.
the X-ray in the video?
I don't know. I think he talks to the guy who did the X-ray,
Huh.
and also like some military dude like supposedly transported the thing. Like
The
they're like,
alien?
hey, yo, yeah, in a body bag.
Huh.
Yeah, they were like, hey, go
Wow.
pick up this thing from this place. Picks it up, takes it to the hospital. They get X-rayed. Long story short, X-ray tech said it smelled like the worst stench he had ever smelt, and like he said it was like
Sure.
over 8 feet long and all this crazy stuff. So
Hmm.
I don't know,
It's like Independence Day, right? When Will
pretty much,
Smith's dragging the dude in the body bag across the desert.
pretty much. I don't know if that's based on this. I don't know when it happened, but
Sounds eerily similar to the plot of Independence Day.
interesting.
What was the pilot's name?
Will Smith.
Schmill Smith.
Shut up.
Will Smith, huh?
Boys, anything else?
Um,
I mean, I think I'm good there because I have some UFO research to go do. Josh, what else you got?
I guess Jim Brown died today.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
so that's super sad. He's a legend of the football game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
New York Times said Jim Brown has died at 87. He was acclaimed as one of the greatest players in pro football history, an actor and a civil rights activist. He was
Mhm.
also accused of domestic violence.
Allegedly.
Perfect.
Like, come on, dude.
Hey, you know who's annoying me?
The New York Times.
The New York Times.
Yeah, dude. Jim Brown's got some of like the nuttiest highlight tapes I've ever seen in my whole life. He's from
Mm-hmm.
that. Gosh, he has been playing like so long ago that when you watch his film, it looks like almost like slow motion or something. I don't know if that's just the way that the film gets recorded or whatever. But
Yeah.
you're just watching it and you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's a man amongst boys out there when you're watching Jim Brown highlights, man. Like
Yeah.
for real a legend, like always be remembered.
Yeah.
Speaking of annoying stuff, did you guys see that report that OJ's had hiccups? Or not OJ. God, Bo Jackson has had hiccups for a year straight. He
Oh,
had like
dude.
surgery a week and a half ago to get him like removed or some shit. I was like, dude, think about having hiccups for 35 minutes straight, let alone
No.
a year.
Dude, I think I remember something like that on like True Life. You remember that show True Life?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
yeah.
like it'd be like the people that have like OCD and they gotta turn the light switch on 15 times before they can go in the room or whatever. But I think I remember an episode of someone that had the hiccups.
Yeah, like hiccups or yeah, I think you're right, TC. Just like it was every like 10 seconds he's all
Yeah, it was like ruining his life.
dude. It was like ruining his life. Yeah,
Dude,
forget it.
go ahead.
No, you're good, good.
No, I was gonna say Josh said OJ. Dude, a couple of months ago, did you guys see that clip that he put out? He always puts out like the weirdest shit. You know what I mean? But he puts out a clip and he's like, it was when all the Alex Murdaugh stuff was going down,
Oh, yeah,
you know. And OJ puts out a clip and he's like, I don't know why everyone's asking me about this Murdaugh case. You know, I'm not an expert or anything. And it's like, dude, because you killed two people. That's why people are asking you about it.
yeah.
You know. But like he's just so casual. He's got like his glasses up on his head. He's like laughing about it. He's like, I don't know why everyone's asking me about it. I'm not an expert. And it's like, dude, so it's just I don't want to say funny because like of the guy that he is, but like it's pretty
Yeah.
comical.
Dude, I already know how like OJ's final moments on Earth are gonna be. He's literally gonna be laying there in the hospital bed, right? He's gonna be on his way out and he's gonna be like, Nurse, come here, nurse.
Nurse.
Just be like, I just want to tell you one thing. And she's gonna be like, we know you killed him. You did it. We know. And he's like, I did it. And that's how he's gonna go out.
Well, dude, like, do you remember he said that the part that scares him is that there's a killer on the loose and they might be like at the table next to him at lunch or something?
Yeah. Meanwhile, he just looks in the mirror and he's all
Yeah. It's like, dude, like, oh, like, dude, if I got away with the double murder, bro, you are never seeing or hearing from me ever again. Like,
Oh, you're
I'm
gone, dude.
dude, I'm in the wind. You know what I mean? Like, if I was part of the mob and got away with double murder, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
You know? never seeing me again. I'm going to a different country, new name. I'm gonna grow out my mustache and facial hair. Never seeing you ever
Ooh.
again. But OJ just stands in there, bro. He's like,
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, like he goes on the Nelk podcast and they're like,
The glove doesn't fit.
so, and he's like, I'm not answering any questions about that. I'm just like, holy shit, dude.
We
Yeah,
know.
crazy. Yep, boys. I think that's all I have on the docket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm
good
good
to,
as well, boys.
I'm
good
also
to get
good
the old
there.
feet wet, you know?
Yeah.
Get the old feet wet, get back into it. Football season's right around the corner, boys.
So close.
Remember, we got May, half of May, June, July, half to 3/4 of August.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So 3 months total.
We can do it.
Wow. 90 days. Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, everyone listening, that is effectively going to do it for episode 25 of the Keep It Down podcast. As always, be sure to go to our Instagram, Keep It Down Pod. That will take you directly wherever you wish to go, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, anything, anywhere, all the time. So go check it out. Give us some love and all that good stuff. Boys, give the people something to think about while we're gone, okay?
Yeah, man, a quarter of the way to 100. Like I said, it's getting nutty, man. It's been real. And thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Like Chuck said, just make sure you hit the Instagram comments. If there's any topics or anything you guys want covered or anything like that, we'll probably rip another. I think we're a little overdue for a little Instagram Q&A kind of thing. So yeah, give us some feedback on the YouTube comments, on the Instagram comments, and let us know what you want us to talk about. We're down for any of it. If it's fine dining or conspiracy theories or whatever it is, you let us know.
Absolutely. Boys, that is gonna do it. Don't forget to be good people out there. Peace.